slow, you
really
slow. If
hard.
you fast, you fast. Like, you get better. Like, people get better, but it's not worth.
I find that hard.
Yeah.
When the helmet comes on, if I'm riding with friends, I have to make a conscious decision not to race them. Like, and I'm disciplined at that now. But everything in me as a racer, since I was 4 years old, my parents have said to me and encouraged me to go on the racetrack from point A to point B as quick as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, especially now I've had a kid and stuff, like I'm thinking, all right, let's just ride because I enjoy riding, which is a real conscious decision, and I find it really hard to discipline myself to just ride. And I think it's important to note, because a lot of people don't make that thought, like don't make a conscious decision that, especially as a bloke, it's in you to want to beat your mate. I think.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, no one's going to remember if you beat him to the traffic lights. That's the sort of thing in the back of my head. Is it's like, it'd be more fun if we can get on the road again.
So that's a really good point. So I've been thinking about doing a little video on like my tips for safe riding after being in the industry a lot. And I was thinking yesterday, because I did a ride along Eastlink yesterday, I did about 120, 130 Ks. Had to go to a meeting down in the city. And by the time I got there and back, 120, 130 Ks, mostly on the highway, peak hour traffic for most of it. And while I was riding, I was thinking, like, what would I want to teach like a new rider? And the number one thing that I think is, firstly, before you ride, check your bike. So check your tyre pressures, check your chain, just be aware of your motorcycle. You're fully responsible for that bike when you're on it. Even if you've taken it to a professional, like, get to know your bike. I think that's... And
there's a lot of that that's easy to learn yourself and doesn't take that much tools or skills, like adjusting a chain. You know, like... Because it could be expensive if you took it every time you needed your chain adjusted to a mechanic. And it takes 5 minutes. Like, there's a 5-minute video on YouTube by Ari Henning that every time I adjust my bike, I've just got it there ready, and I'm like, okay,
That's good.
I know what I'm doing, but I'll watch him anyway in case I forget something. Like,
that's really good.
There's that much stuff on YouTube. Like,
so true.
All the little maintenance stuff. If you can learn to do that yourself, then you can build into the bigger stuff.
I think that's important. We're trying to get heaps more content up online on all that stuff for exactly that reason, like to be just a guide. The second thing I reckon is vision, like where you look, you go. So obviously, like going through traffic lights, look left, look right, like expect that someone's going to make a mistake. And as a motorcyclist, you want to get better at looking further ahead.
Like, 100%.
As a racer, that's like the quickest way to decrease your lap times is to look further ahead, so you got more time to respond.
So one of the things that I like about being in Melbourne is that I get to spend a bit more time filtering and in traffic. Because where I was in Adelaide...
So lane splitting.
So, filtering at those slower speeds, there's not as much need for the lane splitting where I'm... Because lane splitting's...
So the lane splitting's highway riding, is it? And filtering's stopped? Is that right?
And so lane splitting's illegal, but filtering's legal in most of Australia now, which is...
I should adjust my language on that, because I disagree with lane splitting, because you're very at risk going 100 Ks.
If you're doing 150 between two cars doing 100 and someone changes lane, like, it doesn't matter how good you are, all it takes is someone to hit you. But filtering is a very good, like, it's real good for, you can't do it as a learner, but as like an intermediate skill to get good at. Because I mean, like, you could do 150 on your bike all the time, but you're going to make up way more time than like being able to filter. Like, you know, you could pull up on an ST250 next to a Lambo, and he can gun it, but he's going to get stuck at the first car that stopped, and you can scoot on past.
So true. That's a great point. That's my next point that I would say as well, is positioning. So like, get really good at being strategic about where you position yourself on the road. So I think filtering's great. So if you stop at the lights, don't put your bike in neutral, keep it in gear. You're looking in your rear vision mirrors, make sure the guy behind you has stopped and seen you, and he's not, you know, going to blow through the traffic, and be positioned that if the guy behind you does miscalculate and is going too fast in his car or something, it's going to back end you, that you can quickly just drop the clutch and get yourself out of harm's way. Like,
and that's one of the good things about filtering to the front at lights, is that if you're sort of in between the cars and they get rear-ended from the car behind them. They're going forward, they're going past you. Whereas if you're sitting in traffic and there's an 8-car pile up, you wouldn't even be able to see, unless there was a truck and a Mini, like you wouldn't be able to see, and the next thing you're getting squashed.
So true.
That was one of the best safety outcomes.
I reckon that's a great point. Yeah, filtering, being in a position so you can get out of harm's way, being aware of harm's way, and probably the other point I'd make on positioning is like when I was on Eastlink yesterday, I don't travel in the middle. I find it. I feel quite vulnerable, especially in peak hour traffic, going at 100 k's or 80 k's on a 4 or 5 lane highway in the middle lane, because I just think like, what if I got a flat tyre? What if I ran out of petrol? What if my bike broke down and I'm in the middle? Like, so I was just travelling either on the full left or the full right as much as I could. So
the other thing you've got there is if you're in the middle, you've got twice the amount of people that could potentially move in and not see you. So where you're on the outside, you're really just looking, paying attention to one. So
that's a great point. Yeah. So then you only got one mirror to worry about.
I mean, like you always pay attention to both. Like it's just a habit. You look in both, but you can stress less if you know they're only coming from